Hey guys, it's Christian, your Vancouver Realtor, and the topic for today's video is 5 decisions that could really impact your pocketbook. And these are things I've observed over my years and even 2021. Things I've seen my clients do that worked and didn't work. And they seem like really small things, but boy, they can really snowball on you and have a huge financial impact, sometimes up to $50,000. And there's just things that you have to be aware of. And once you're aware of them, you can make the right decision for yourself and for your family. And I really want to go through these, and I'm going to share them with you in short stories so that they're really easy to understand. All right, and the very first one is, and this is trying to save the mortgage cancellation penalty before buying your next residence. So let me explain it. I had a client earlier this year, and she was really insistent on not paying a mortgage cancellation penalty. Well, in her case, she wanted to, upsize from a condo into a townhouse, and that decision to wait ended up cost her about $50,000 because that's how much townhouses increased in value over from the spring to the fall. So if you think about it, and in the net effect here was maybe she was saving $1,500 on her mortgage cancellation. So she, in essence, paid $50,000 to save $1,500, which makes no sense. And that's probably my biggest regret so far of the year, that is I wasn't more firm and didn't push her more on this point. At the end of the day, I'm not a pushy person. I like to kind of lay the cards on the table, the options, the scenarios, and then I really let my clients make the decision. Of course, if you ask me what I would do, I'll tell you what I would do. But that's my regret for 2021. And even if you're a realtor and you're watching this, if your client ever talks to you about saving on the mortgage cancellation penalty and waiting another 6 months, it does not make any sense. Don't do it. Just go and get the ball rolling on that next home purchase. I really hope this makes sense because it's a small one, but it has a big impact. Okay, next one is waiting too long to pull the trigger. I've seen this with a number of people over the years. Look, we all do. And what this usually looks like is somebody who's trying to outguess the market. And they think, if I just wait another 9 months or a year, maybe the market will come down. I had a former client. I actually, unfortunately, had to let him go. I don't usually like to do that, but I really had. In this case, we had to make a coaching change. And I took myself out of the game and I said, look, someone else might be able to serve you better than I can, sir. Because I just couldn't get him to take action. And that's okay. That's part of the business. But what I observed, and I just find it's very harmful to buyers or sellers, anybody who's upsizing in a market like this, is to try to outguess the market and think, I'm just going to wait another year and maybe I'll buy a house then. You can imagine, you rewind the clock a year, you're probably, if you were buying a house, you're paying a couple of $100,000 more for the same house. It's 1 year older and it's $200,000 more expensive than it was last year. Same applies to townhouses. And so I'm a firm believer that once you've made up your mind, you're ready to upsize, you're starting a family, just do that. Don't beat around the bush. I think there's nothing to be gained. In our case specifically, that this gentleman really wanted to get a townhouse in the Coquitlam area. And there's a lot of new product out there. Polygon has built out a whole master plan community. And in January of 2021, some of those townhomes were going for $750,000. By the end, meaning here in fall 2021, they're going for $900,000. That's the new benchmark just to get in. So wait 9 months, you pay $150,000 more. Huge amount of money. Plus, you've got to now qualify, your income does, for that next price bracket, one above. So don't outguess, don't wait to pull the trigger too long. That's another one that seems like a small one, but boy, it really can add up over a short period of time even. Just a corollary of that is a very rare occasion I see someone who doesn't want to pay the CMHC premiums right? If you don't have the minimum 20% down payment, your mortgage needs to get insured. And when it gets insured by CMHC, there's obviously an amount that goes on top of your mortgage. Usually it's a couple $100, and then somebody wants to, wait another half a year to reduce that. Again, in a rising market, that makes no sense. You could be spending $50,000 to save $200 a month. It doesn't work for you when you do the numbers. Okay. Moving along, on the sellers, continue with sellers here, is small things make a huge difference. One would be just doing light renovations before you sell. Specifically, one thing, a new paint job. I believe there's a 10-to-1 return for when you paint your place. And I've literally seen it where I've been selling 2 units, one above the other, same view, same floor plan, same everything. One has a light paint job, one has a dark paint job, and the one with the light paint job will sell for more than the one with the dark paint job or the old one. Get it painted, usually a nice fresh white, cloud white, something like that. I would think that spending $2,000 on a paint job for a condo will return you $20,000. Very, very sure about that. Next, moving along, selling a tenanted occupied property. Another example how just a small investment of money here is going to make you a lot more. And it boggles my mind that more sellers don't do this. Especially if you hear people always want, they want to make more money. This is the easiest way to do it. You have a tenanted occupied property. Best thing you can do as a landlord when you're selling that property is just to make an agreement with the tenant. Tell them you're going to be selling it, and offer them a bit of money. You got to give them 1 month free rent anyway, and maybe, pay for their moving. Give them a $500 bonus to get a mutual agreement to end the tenancy. It works for them. It works for you. How does it work for you? Simple. The place is vacant. We can get someone in there to clean. You can get the painter in there. A nice fresh coat of white paint. You could even stage it perhaps. And it's going to sell a lot better than if, for example, if you had a tenant in there and they've got laundry on the floor, there's dishes in the sink, there's funny odors when they're cooking. All those things are normal, and if you're selling a home with that, you're going to take a $20,000, $30,000, $40,000 haircut just even on a $700,000, $800,000 condo. I see it all the time, and most realtors will probably tell you the same thing anyway. So just give the tenant a little bit of money to vacate early. It's a slam dunk, easy decision. All right, last one, home country risk. So this is one where I observed, I had a couple from Iran, well actually with mom and her son, and they were looking to buy something about 2 years ago here in the Vancouver area. And I took them out and we looked at some properties, and they still had to sort out some issues in their home country, Iran. And unfortunately, their currency dropped. And so it changed their whole plans. They couldn't buy here anymore. I ended up Googling, how much did their currency drop? Because I don't follow the Iranian real currency very closely. And according to Bloomberg News, in the summer of 2020, it had dropped 50%. By the time Trump left office, it was down 70% from some years before. So you can imagine if you were planning to sell property in your home country and bring over 500,000 Canadian dollars, a couple of years later, that's $250,000. That's a huge drop. That affects what you can purchase in Canada. So you really need to know your own home country, what the situation there. My suggestion would be, if you're definitely decided on getting something in Canada or the US, that you should probably get that into our country sooner than later, only because our currencies tend to be very stable, more predictable. Other countries, who knows? I don't know, right? So you don't know with those situations. So that one's really for you to monitor. Okay, hope this has been of useful help for you. Give us a subscribe, a thumbs up. We love having you be part of the family. Any comments, questions, leave those below and I will get back to them. Thank you, and we'll see you next time.